Timestamp June 30th, 2025, about 8:15 p.m. That would be a hex, my seven-toed tuxedo. They're real. People always ask him that. Are those real? My buddy. Who's not actually supposed to be on the bar, but I humor. Once we get things more civilized around here, that's going to stop. Yeah. Keeps trying to mess with my robot. Leave D84 alone. I heard a cry. I heard a cry. If you know, you know. You know? We're gonna walk the scrap real quick, because... Oh, come on, Tanner. Wow. Tanner's gonna go outside instead of on the carpet. That's pretty exciting. Landmark, even. One less wet spot. Okay, I'm in for it. Oh, just got up a little while ago, but I didn't go to bed till 1 p.m., something like that. You know, we're on summer school kid hours around here. Yeah, Roku, the Doctor Who channel, seems to really stick to the greatest hits kind of thing a lot. In the respect of, I'm seeing the same episodes over and over a lot, which I'm okay with-ish. Seems like they go in cycles. Like right now we're on like a Tom Baker cycle. I woke up to the very end of Horror of Fang Rock, and it went from there into Robots of Death, which, based on the D84 on my desk, yeah, it's a favorite. You know, I'm still very partial to Genesis of the Daleks, which was the first Doctor Who episode I ever saw. I actually saw some of that yesterday, because that's another one that they play at least once every few days, it seems. But I mean, the week before it was nothing but John Pertwee. John Pertwee and Unit and the Brigadier. And Sarah Jane. Oh, Miss Smith. Anyway, again, if you know, you know. I'm a dork, I admit that. Feeling pretty good. Health check. A little congested, but I'm always a little congested in the morning, even pre-emphysema. My sinuses kind of go into overdrive while I sleep. I've been told that I probably need one of those little, for years now, that I probably need one of those little devices that's supposed to regulate that. Not a BiPAP, not yet. Although, I think I mentioned this the other day, we found out that my mom had been recommended to have a BiPAP like 5 years ago and ignored it. Which, not wanting to sound incredibly trite, is part of her demise. Because if she had done that, she probably could have extended her life a fair amount. Now, I've heard that dementia can increase feelings of claustrophobia and just the general overall feeling of oppression. So part of me wonders if she had been going through her own... I mean, we've already been, you and I, discussing the fact that we think that my mom had been experiencing cognitive decline well before the time that we realized that she was experiencing it. So if she was having her own private battle with dementia, and I do believe so, then that would have actually enhanced the claustrophobic issues even more than she already was claustrophobic. Quite frankly, my mom had been referred to as neurotic by quite a few people over the years. Fear of just about everything. Um, you know, not everything. I mean, she could speak in public and things like that, which is something that a lot of people can't do. I shouldn't say can't. Don't. Because I maintain that just about anybody can. It's just a learned mindset, you know. And I've seen that with students of mine before, where part of it is just doing it, getting over that fear, realizing that the audience are in fact just people. And they usually don't come with a bag of tomatoes. That's usually not, unless you're going to Rocky Horror. If you're going to Rocky Horror, there's no telling what they got in their little bag. At least the AP, you know. The live theater, hopefully they didn't come in the door with anything, unless you're doing a small theater and selling party favors like we did. But we actually did the play, not the AP. We did the play. Yes, we did. We played. More fun than you're supposed to have on stage. Fairly certain of that. Yes. Yes, I know. But it isn't all bunny, is it? Anyway. Tiny has requested at least a partial day off, which we're not trying to kill ourselves here. We are trying to get stuff done, but work-life balance. But I guess some of Tiny's friends online, Tiny has a lot of friends online. Well, not necessarily a lot, but a few very good ones that Tiny has played with various games and whatnot for 3, 4, 5 years. The world's changed, you know. I'm Gen X. Used to be your friends were people you knew from school or the neighborhood. Tiny's best friends are, there's a kid in South Africa, there's a kid in Texas, and there's a kid in Ireland. Yeah, I'm always touting about Federation thinking and the Star Trek mentality and whatnot. Doesn't get much more than that, right? South Africa, Ireland, and Texas. We're in Florida. These are the kids you met at the academy, huh? Spent a few years together in San Fran. That's just the way I look at it. I'm like, yeah, sure. Big, beautiful ball of blue that we are breaking slowly. Boy, do we got to work on that. Speaking of, I hear the bill is, I don't know how it's doing. I need to check in on that. But I guess it was meeting resistance in the Senate, if you know what I'm talking about. Great. That thing needs to get shut down. Because apparently it really, really hamstrings green energy and props up the fossil fuel industry. What a shock. Because that's who sends these guys big bonus checks. Dumb. Every one of those guys and girls is going to make a few extra hundred or a few extra million, and they're going to kill the planet in 50 years. You know what I mean? Enjoy the money you just condemned your grandchildren. It's just not forward thinking. Pisses me off. But we have shaped things in America to the point where the important thing is who got paid and how much. We've lost our way. Not Federation thinking. I have a problem with that. You can hear it, right? Scrappy is running around looking for the bunny, I think. So we got to meet I got to meet a couple people from the fire department last night. So we heated up one of the frozen pizzas, whatnot. We'll get I had a couple in the freezer out in the garage. The big Walmart marketplace or whatever pizzas. They're pretty good, actually. And not like too like bank breaking. And there was a tater tot in the bottom of the oven. And Tiny noticed it, but didn't think it was a big deal until the oven really, in preheat, started really smoking. And that tater tot had become what looked like a little charcoal briquette and was just spewing out smoke. And I got the fire alarm turned off, but not before ADT had attempted to call the house, and because of Dad's wonky phone system, we weren't able to respond, so a fire truck came rolling up. I'm wondering if we're going to get billed for that. Kitchen was a little smoky. One little tater tot. And that's why you keep barbecue tongs on hand. I was able to grab that thing and put it in the sink in a bowl of water and extinguish that part of it pretty quickly, but the smoke remained. Nice guys. I explained the situation and let them know I was going to go inside after they left and throttle an 18-year-old. The guy was in good humor because he was like, don't do that, then we'll have to come respond to a choking victim. It's like, okay, well, you got a sense of humor. I appreciate that. Sorry about that. For what it's worth, he said it was a quiet night and that we hadn't really, called them away from 3 critical things, Well, we came here, but there was an orphanage on fire. We were going to head there instead, but we came here, nothing like that. Which made me feel a little better about the fact that we had just, done a false alarm with the fire department. So my phone is through Mint, and I've had nothing but good as a shout out, as it were. I'm not a paid sponsor, but service has been really good with them. What I want to do, the house number here has been, honestly, that number has been in the family for over 40 years. They carried it with them from Tampa here to Pasco County. It's been our phone number for actually about 50 years. And I'm probably going to try and transfer it to a Mint phone and have the house phone be a Mint phone, like an actual, cell phone. So I can take that number with me, because anybody in the world that knows this branch of the Wolf King family has that number. It's kind of that flare gun number. So I want to, may sound silly, I want to try and keep the phone number in the family. But the phone contraption that my dad has set up must go. I'm getting hit with mosquitoes because O positive and yummy. That phone must go. It is an atrocity. It doesn't work correctly. And I don't know. I know how to program like old school phones. I don't know what my dad's done to it, but he's done something to it, because it is not anywhere near what it's supposed to be doing. And I'm not gonna say, oh, it's the phone. No, my dad did something to it, because he was always complaining about how he couldn't get it to work right, and he tried to program it, and it's like, oh dear God. When a man with dementia who doesn't know what they're doing tries to make things better, it won't. In other news, I woke up to a text from my girl, Pixie, and my dad had texted her out of the blue, which we had the question, because we've had people try and call him, and they've been getting weird messages basically saying that he can't receive calls. But this lets us know that he does still at least have his phone. It wasn't confiscated by the people at the complex that he's at, which that crossed our mind because of all the wacky stuff he's done with the phone. Still not sure as to whether or not he's called the police from the complex and said, hey, I've been kidnapped, they're poisoning me, I'm wondering if he has. But this lets us know that he does still, in fact, have his phone. Because it was mostly gibberish and weird, like random words together that don't, like a really broken Mad Lib. But at one place in the weird ransom note, it said, I'm by the, which made us think that he was, and he sent me a message this way once before too, made us think that he was trying to text Pixie or someone to let them know where he was so that they could come extract him, which is not going to happen. But like, I'm by the window, come get me, because he sent me a message like that a couple weeks ago. It's kind of like I'm by the side door for when you get here, and it's like, I'm not getting there. I'm not coming to rescue you. This is going to sound horrible, but I'm the one that put you there. That's where you're going to be until I can get a VA home lined up. That's so that the state doesn't take you away. And it is to keep you out of danger and to keep you from hurting anybody else, because I don't know what you're capable of. You threatened Pixie with a screwdriver at one point. And at one point, she was sliced bread as far as you were concerned. A random stranger that gives you a weird look or whatnot. Who knows, man? This is going to sound harsh, but you literally have brain damage. I've seen the scans. You've got holes in your brain from at least 2 strokes. We think a third. Actually, 3 strokes. We think maybe a 4th between you and me. But what are you doing, Scrap? You're not going to catch that money. You're not going to catch that lizard either. It's a big lizard, but that won't be happening. You're such an optimist. Got him. Her, actually. 1 down, 43 to go. So I'm going to work in the garage a little bit tonight. Work today. Got a stack of paperwork I got to go through. I hate paperwork so much. But I need to pick through some of it and at least knock a couple things out. Trying to keep up on all of it. Because 2 households, legal issues and all that. It's more than enough to keep me busy and annoyed. Got another one. Yeah, you're still not going to get it. Never going to get it, never going to get it, never going to get it, never get it. Just staring at me like, what? Do. No? I guess you don't know that one. Sorry. You're having your own breakdown. What do you think, Tanner? Just gonna stare off into space a little bit? Sounds good. Walk away, don't make eye contact. We want to clear that space in the lanai so we can move that cabinet forward. Because the ceiling is definitely A little lower than it should be. Trash should pick up in the morning, which is good because boy is that hopper overflowing. I wish we had more than just the one can here. I mean, my dad's got a second can back here. It's got an address on the side, but that's not our address, so I don't know where he got that. I'm not even going to ask. I don't want to know. I don't want to know. I'm just going to whistle and walk on past it. Hi, Tanner. That was the sound of Tiny laughing, having fun with friends, which is good. Yeah, it's funny. Tiny said something to me last night that I wasn't really expecting. Not like a bad thing, or just kind of like out of the blue. One of the video games had made its when a video game isn't being played, but it's set to make sound effects to try and draw in a player to put a coin in. It's called attract mode. The idea is it's making noise and it's trying to attract a player. Come, put your quarter in me. And one of them made a sound, attract mode. And Tiny looked at me and said, when you got the one and then you told me you were getting the second machine, I was thinking, this is going to get really annoying. But I'm really glad they're here. And honestly, I wouldn't mind a third or a seventh, because it's helping break up the atmosphere of the fact that we're in my grandparents' house and they're gone. It's making it feel more like I'm not in their shadow. And I was like, okay, cool. That's because that was part of what I had in mind. Part of it was work life, part of it was just atmospheric. But it was like, okay, cool. That part's working a little bit good. Because I've got to try and keep everybody's morale up, because this has just been the worst 2-year Giga Coaster ever. We still got a long ways before those last brakes kick in and we coast into the station, Try and keep everybody happy and sane meanwhile. Happy and sane, not insane. That's what we're trying to avoid. Anyway, I'm going to sign off here and get down to it. Make it a great day.